Breaking news. All of a sudden, Barron Trump has bone spurs and bad feet.
Your enemies aren't in Iran. They're in the Epstein files. And it feels like this attack is to distract us from said files.
My brother is in Kuwait. And Wigs R Us decided they wanted to attack Iran last night. Reported targets are Qatar, Kuwait, UAE.
I'm speaking directly to the Mango Mussolini and all of the MAGA on this one. If y'all want war, you can stop shopping for your soldiers in the same communities that you all have been targeting for sport here in our own country.
These pay for our military? Are they the ones who are shelling out $1 trillion a year for our military?
This is not our war. This is friggin' Netanyahu and Iran's war. That's what it is. But we're in it because Trump has to deal with this asshole over here.
Did Iran attack the United States of America? Is Iran the reason that no one can afford a house? Is Iran the reason that there's fentanyl everywhere? Is Iran the reason that we've got political corruption? Is Iran the reason that we have 12 people that own everything in this country? Is Iran the reason that we have an epidemic of poison food that's killing people and children? And when your insurance won't cover a knee operation and you have to go bankrupt to replace your hip, is your main concern that Iran be decapitated? This is the craziest I've ever heard in my life.
Our soldiers are gonna be in Israel right now as we speak, in order to defend the Israelis. Do the Israelis pay for our military? Are they the ones who are shelling out $1 trillion a year for our military? No, they're not. We pay for our military. Why are our soldiers based in Israel? Why do we have F-22 Raptors in Israel in order to protect Israel? Because that's why we spend all that money on our military, so we can protect a foreign country that doesn't contribute anything to our country or to our military.
They are messing with something that is super dangerous here. The rage this country is going to feel when we lose any significant number of troops in this war is not going to be anything like you've ever seen before.
My brother is in Kuwait. And Wigs R Us decided they wanted to attack Iran last night. Him and Israel. Calling it preemptive strikes. Trying to take out the Iranian missile systems, which they did not even hit. What they did hit was Tehran and other cities in Iran on the midst of us having diplomatic conversations so we could all get along. This is an Izzy type of situation. Izzy will try to say that they're having diplomatic conversations and then attack. So the United States took a play out of Izzy's book. And Iran said, you know what, bitch, it's on. Y'all didn't even hit none of our missiles. And MAGA is trying to frame it as if Wigs R Us is trying to liberate the people of Iran. That's bullshit. We can't even get liberated here. Now, all military bases surrounding Iran are on high alert. That includes Qatar, Bahrain, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Kuwait. Now, according to U.S. officials, Iran has already launched missile strikes aimed at multiple U.S. military bases in the Gulf region as a part of its retaliation against U.S.-Israel military strikes on Iran territory. The reported targets are Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, and the naval support activity in Bahrain. Let's hope this doesn't escalate, because I really want my brother to come home in April.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years...
That Truth Social video, which was posted somewhere around the 2:30 a.m. East Coast hour today, February 28th, 2026, is about 8 minutes long. And I only made it as far as that clip that I just showed you. Because the minute that Donald Trump said that he did this to protect the American people, I knew everything after that was going to be a lie. Donald Trump does not care if the American people live or die. And he doesn't care because in 2020, the American people as a collective fired him. We did not re-elect him. And for a narcissist / sociopath / whatever else he might be, that is unforgivable. And he will burn the earth to the ground in order to get his revenge and watch us suffer. By walking hand in hand with Netanyahu of Israel, a wanted criminal, wanted by the ICC, and choosing to engage in a joint strike in Iran, we know that he has put the American people in not just grave danger, but imminent danger. Because Iran has already confirmed that if the Americans were to strike, if the US teamed up with anyone and struck, that they would retaliate. And they would retaliate by attacking bases all over abroad, anywhere that their missiles and other capabilities have reached to. They also confirmed that within the United States, they would activate sleeper cells. There will be terrorist attacks in the United States, and they will happen soon. And they will happen in large areas, and many, many people will die and or be injured and or be traumatized. And that's just the way that Donald Trump wants it, because he knows that by striking Iran, he has activated all of that danger for the American people. It is evident, especially in the State of the Union address, which was given this week, that Donald Trump finds violence to be pornographic, arousing. He gets off on it. Just listen to the many different ways he talked about young, beautiful women in that speech, and then detailed each and every bloody, gory detail of their murder and death in front of their families, re-traumatizing them, while he practically had a grin on his face. That's who Donald Trump is, and I'm certain, if he's awake, he's sitting in front of a TV watching these strikes happen in Iran, laughing, feeling good about himself. And when retaliation comes for the American people, either abroad or at home, he will do the same. Because Donald Trump does not care if the American people live or die.
I'm against presidents starting new wars in order to distract from the allegations that he molested a 13-year-old. How about you guys? How about we fund Medicaid instead of funding bombs?
We will have no more wars, no more disruptions, and we will have prosperity and peace for all. And again, we're going to bring back that American dream for all of the young people in this audience and some of the old ones.
Do you get it now? Do you get it now that this man does not care about the American people and never has? He only cares about his rich friends. Because he told you he was going to lower groceries. Hasn't done that. He told you he was going to release the Epstein files and ensure that people are prosecuted. Not doing that. In fact, he even erased his own name from that, deleted the files, and then put them back on. He told you that there would be no wars. Well, here we go. He is starting this war so that we stop talking about the Epstein files, because he's widely unpopular now, and he knows that the midterms are coming up, and he wants to invoke martial law and stop all of us from being able to vote. I mean, when are you going to get it? He doesn't care about you, and he's okay with your children dying overseas. If you don't believe me, listen to his own words.
Lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran.
Your enemies aren't in Iran. They're in the Epstein files. And it feels like this attack is to distract us from said files. We were promised to end foreign wars, lower grocery bills, and to release the Epstein files. So far, we got half the Epstein files released, not all. Grocery bills is higher than ever. And of course, more foreign wars. And I don't like it. And quite frankly, you know what I would do if I was Iran? And you could call me crazy, but if I was Iran, I wouldn't need no real bombs. I would just release all of the Epstein files, unredacted, however I had to get my hands on them. Call me crazy, but they just might do that Bottom line, I don't care how many bombs we drop on Iran, and I've seen Dubai is getting hit with all kind of bombs now, so we supposed to be helping Israel, whatever. The bottom line is, I don't care how many bombs you drop, you can't bury the Epstein files under the rubble in Iran. The truth will come. But what's going on right now is a complete farce, and I don't like it. What if I told you?
Okay, so here we go. Same war, different day. This is not our war. This is friggin' Netanyahu and Iran's war. That's what it is. But we're in it because Trump has to deal with this hole over here, Netanyahu, who should be friggin' in jail or for war crimes, okay? So should Trump, okay? Now, this is what's going to happen. It's going to go on, and Iran is not going to fuck around. And we're going to lose soldiers, American soldiers, mothers. Start saying your prayers now. God, forgive me, but that's what's going to happen. And Iran is going to start blowing the shit out of stuff in America, all right? They did it before. Let's not fuck around here, people. And this Netanyahu, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? I hope they blow him apart, okay? I really do. I'm sick of the shit. I'm sick of everything. Trump should be out of the goddamn office, all right? And but now look, we want to work on something right now, all of us, okay? So I want you to join with me. I'll do it with you, okay? I want you to say what I say. Give me an F. F. Give me a U. U. Give me a C. C. Give me a K. K. Give me a Y. Y. Give me a O. O. Give me a U. U. What's that spell? U. What's that spell? U. Well, come on, all you big old men. Donald Trump needs your help again. Got himself in a terrible jam. Way down around the end, Iran. Put down your books and put up a gun. Gonna have a whole lot of fun. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. Because he's gonna steal Iran. And it's 5, 6, 7. Open up the pearly gates. Well, we ain't got time to wonder why. Whoopee, you all gonna die. Stupid rat bastard. Get the f*** out of here.
Look, the truth is there's no predicting oil and gas prices for next week or the week beyond with the Iran war. There's just not. Because we've never seen this before. Iran is not fighting a war with the United States or Israel. Iran is fighting an oil supply disruption war. That's what they are targeting. Exactly what everyone who had any sense thought they would do. They are attacking oil infrastructure throughout the Middle East, oil-producing nations throughout the Middle East. They're shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, or trying to. They've already stopped and disrupted a lot of traffic through there. 20% of the world's oil goes through there. There's still some tankers trying to make it through. They only have to sink one of those bad boys and it's over. They don't have to create a blockade. They just have to create an environment where everyone refuses to go through there. This is an all-out war on global oil supplies. This is Iran's only strategy to survive. And depending on what this looks like by Sunday evening, there's really just no telling what the markets are going to do. Of course, they're going to go way up. And OPEC's going to come out and say, oh, we're going to increase production a lot. Except the markets know that they still haven't increased production as much as they said they would a year ago. The only thing we know for sure right now is that the country of Iran is going to make this as painful as possible on global oil supplies and U.S. gas prices. And we'll see how that plays out. Thanks.
Our soldiers are gonna be in Israel, right now as we speak, in order to defend the Israelis. Do the Israelis pay for our military? Are they the ones who are shelling out $1 trillion a year for our military? No, they're not. We pay for our military. Why are our soldiers based in Israel? Why do we have F-22 Raptors in Israel in order to protect Israel? In a laughable attempt to drum up support for the U.S. carrying out a war against Iran on behalf of Israel, senior Trump advisors are allegedly hoping that Israel launches an attack on Iran first, which would then trigger retaliation from Iran against Israel, and then it would drag the United States into war. Instead of listening to the American people, the Trump administration would like to manipulate the American people. So the calculus is a political one. That more Americans would stomach a war with Iran if the United States or an ally were attacked first. But again, under this dumb plan, Iran wouldn't have attacked the United States or Israel first. Israel would attack Iran first, and then that would, of course, spark a retaliation, which is normal. I mean, what would we do if we were attacked on our land? We would respond, right?
Here's your update. Iran is getting active, and for a good reason. Baby, Israel and the United States struck an all-girl elementary school in Iran. The death toll is up to 86. That includes babies. So yes, I would set off too. Earlier, I reported they struck the U.S. naval base in Bahrain. That's not all. Baby, Iran was blasting missiles all over Qatar, and some of them were being intercepted. And while that interception was happening, debris hit a Palm Hotel and Resort in Dubai. That shit's in flames. Baby, Saudi Arabia has entered the chat. They are siding with Wiggs R Us and Izzy. An Iranian drone hit a high-rise in Bahrain. We don't know the casualties just yet. FBI says the United States Counterterrorism Department has elevated our alert. Yeah, we on high alert now. Tel Aviv is evacuating, getting ready to be hit by Iran because they know it is coming. The UK Prime Minister says British planes have entered the chat too. They're in the sky, in the Middle East, on defense, not offense, defense. And baby, Wiggs R Us is trying to say they took out the Iranian president and their minister, but the reports are saying they are alive and well. They did strike his home though. If you go back in my playlist for Iran versus U.S. and Izzy, last year in June, Roy Cohn, a Democrat, and I think Thomas Massie, the Republican, were trying to get limits on what Wiggs R Us could do with Iran. It was the War Powers Resolution. And right now, the only thing that is stopping this from coming into play is the Republicans. They need to get a backbone and tell this man to hold the off. But it ain't just the Republicans, it's Israel. Israel does not want Iran to exist, just like they don't want Palestine to exist. They kind of got what they wanted on that. Israel feels like they should be the only ones in the Middle East having power. Speaking of the Middle East, Pakistan and Afghanistan are about to go to war, and that's the Taliban war. I will keep y'all updated as I get information.
We're at war with Iran, and that's despite 75 to 80% of the American people not wanting it. If you needed any clearer sign that we do not control our own government, that we do not have a true government of the people, this is it. This would not happen if we had influence and say over our own government. And to be clear, this is a grotesque decision that the White House made to start this unnecessary war. It is going to kill a lot of people and it is going to cause a lot of damage. And we cannot predict where this is all going to end or how it's going to progress. That's the nature of a war. And that is why you do not start one when 80% of the people are opposed to it and when there's been zero consultation through the people's representatives in Congress. That is a perfect example of why we have to create a government of the people.
I'm speaking directly to the Mango Mussolini and all of the MAGA on this one. If y'all want war, you can stop shopping for your soldiers in the same communities that you all have been targeting for sport here in our own country. You don't get to strip back the rights from black and brown Americans, from gay and trans folks, from immigrants and people in the process of asylum, and then turn around and say, hey, go bleed for our freedom. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Millions of people were sold this promise of no new foreign wars, particularly those that require regime change. And now we're watching major combat operations kick off anyway. So let me be crystal fucking clear on this. No person of color, no LGBTQ person, no immigrant family, no one that he's been dehumanizing, y'all have been dehumanizing, should be used as a soldier in a war that he promised he wouldn't start. If you're gonna play empire, recruit from your own fucking cheer section. All the white nationalists, fascists, snow roaches running around terrorizing our communities here at home, ripping babies apart from their families while you're protecting the pedophile in chief. Leave our communities out of it. Protect people here in our own country before you demand that they go to lay down their lives over there. Are we done yet?
Welcome to potentially the worst day in the history of our country. This may very well go down as the day that the United States lost its democracy forever. The date is February 28th, 2026. It's about 1 a.m, and Israel and the United States just started striking Tehran, thus starting the war in the Middle East, which means we are now at war with Iran. The Trump administration is trying to move the power to control U.S. elections into the executive branch. They are grossly misinterpreting our laws in order to do so, and one of the prerequisites they needed in order to enact their plan, or whatever the hell you call it, is a war, and now they have one. And let's be very clear that this is an explicit violation of our Constitution. The Trump administration is also trying to buy up every AI company they can so that they can use their technology to surveil the American people, as well as wage war on the rest of the world, as well as Americans that they disagree with. We tried to warn you, you ignored us. You told us that we were being hyperbolic and dramatic. But it turns out we were correct, and you were just willfully ignorant. This video is not a goodbye to democracy. It's a hang in there. We'll see you later. Because we're going to fight like hell.
Mark my words that this attack on Iran is going to result. Within a month, we'll have an incident here in the United States where American citizens are going to die, and it's going to be labeled a terror attack. And of course, Iran is going to be responsible for it. But don't doubt for a second that it's not Iran who did it and that it originated right here, because they will do whatever is necessary at this point in order to stop the midterm elections. And if we have a terror attack too, then that gives him reason to declare martial law, just for our safety, of course. But don't doubt for a second that something isn't going to happen, because it is. And they're going to blame Iran instantly. Mark my words. It's coming. They'll do whatever it takes to stop us.
Trump in 2012, now that Obama's poll numbers are in a tailspin, watch him launch a strike in Iran. He's desperate. Oh, really? Trump in 2026, his poll numbers are terrible. And would you look at that? He launched a strike in Iran. Guess he was talking about himself the whole time. There's really a post for everything.
After bombing an elementary school in Iran and killing 51 little girls, he says that some of you may get sent your children's remains home in flag-covered coffins, but that's a sacrifice he's willing to make.
The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war.
Now, while the rest of us were sleeping, the U.S. and Israel launched an attack on Iran, bombing multiple residential buildings in Iran in an operation the U.S. is calling Operation Epic Fury. One of the targets was an elementary school. The United States and Israel bombed a girls' elementary school in southern Iran, and this strike killed at least 50 children and injured more than 41 other people. The school was a direct target. There are also casualties in other heavily populated residential areas in Iran. Now, in response, Iran has been targeting U.S. military bases and installations in countries like Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and more. They are promising to defend the sovereignty of their country and have launched an unprecedented retaliation campaign. Iran's foreign minister took to Twitter to say, quote, Trump has turned America first into Israel first, which means America last, end quote. A televised statement from Iran's supreme leader is expected soon, and Netanyahu's plane and his family are being moved to avoid retaliation for something that was ordered by Israel in the U.S. Now, Iran's people were also targeted, but they remain safe. Sirens in occupied Palestine are going off as Iran is responding to this aggression. Now, this is the second time the U.S. bombed Iran in the middle of negotiations, the second time. Actions to demand no war with Iran are taking place across the country, and there will likely be one in Jacksonville today. This is a developing story, and I'll do my best to keep you updated as more.
If this lasts for weeks instead of days, gas go up, groceries go up. Now that this war has started, this is what's going to happen next. Not in theory, in real life. The first thing that moves, oil. Iran sits next to one of the most important waterways on Earth, the Strait of Hormuz. Search for it. A huge chunk of the world's oil passes through here. Iran doesn't just even have to shut it down. If it becomes dangerous to ship through, prices go up. Oil prices jump, gas jumps. When gas jumps, food and shipping costs jump. When that jumps, inflation comes back. And that's how something over there hits your pockets right here. The second thing that happened is it spreads. Modern war isn't always country versus country, one-on-one battlefield. That means conflict can pop up in different places at the same time. Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, it stretches out instead of staying contained. Third, the U.S. increases in military presence. More ships, because once fighting starts, both sides wants to show their strength so the other side don't push back further. Russia and China probably won't jump in directly in the fighting, but watch how they move diplomatically. Watch weapon deals, watch joint drills. That tells you if that stays regional or it becomes a part of a bigger global power shift. Now, let's bring this back home. Let's talk about the U.S. When markets get shaky, governments expand national security powers. That's just history. War environments always increase executive authority.